The morning of the second day, Yi Yanfan slept for a while and naturally woke up without an alarm clock. Then, start considering what kind of face makeup you should wear today. If Siya Han didn't need to hide her appearance anymore, she could naturally restore her original appearance. Regardless, she suddenly thought she still had a very important thing to do. In order for this matter to proceed smoothly, she still needed to temporarily hide her identity. Her appearance at the beginning, except for the people in this house, has not been seen by any other people so far, so in the immediate future, until the right time, she should change herself little by little. This is also a way to help her not need to secretly think of ways to hide her appearance. Vovo. I mean, if it's appropriate, then show your appearance. You don't need to hide it anymore. But you still have to hide your original appearance from outsiders who don't know. For example, Shenmengqi Guyu Zhe. Therefore, her original form is still temporarily not revealed in front of too many people. It is better. Yan thought for a while, so except for the tattoo, he still continued to apply facial makeup, and it was convenient to carry a green wig. Vovo. After thinking about it, I'm still wearing my old appearance. Smashing. When Yan went downstairs, he didn't see Siya Han. On the contrary, Lin Xian, the other guy, came today. The other guy, while accidentally raising his eyes to see her, momentarily took all the coffee in his mouth and spit it out. Tao. My dog's eyes. Vovo, I understand. Lin Kai. Pat on the shoulder. Lin Kai Wu Xie, Qua told Quan Quan to adjust the script for me. Haze. Istu. Yi Yan gave him a glance, showing a rare expression of reproach. She turned downstairs and swept her eyes, and found that today it was not only Lin Kai. Siya Han also had two more good friends. Shun Tu and Tajiji were also here. At this moment, Shun Tu's cold clear gaze stopped on her body for a second. On the gold-framed glasses flashed a white light, and the moment he looked at Lin Kai, in his voice was a dangerous warning. Lin this is what you want to surprise me, so it was only at 5 o'clock in the morning that you woke me up to Jin Yuan? On one side, Tajiji laughed and trembled all over his body, a pair of lewd eyes of evil spirits. Haha Tu, don't say that. Isn't it really amazing and joyful? What a fan of Jogo. Every day is so exciting. Vovodam, this name is S, it's definitely S. My experience after 1,000 novels is not wrong. No, she was yesterday. Yesterday's face without makeup. It's super beautiful and super fairy. I'm all afraid of being naive. Lin Kai didn't have any coherent words to explain. Tajiji couldn't help but laugh. Yeah, super beautiful and super fairy. You can also find a style like this with Jogo. Lin Kai has no way to explain. Only he had a dejected expression and glared at Yi Yan. Yi Yan frowned. What do you look at me for? Makeup for women is the most basic etiquette. Don't you know? The corners of Lin Kai's mouth twitched. You are indeed very polite. Vovo pat Lin Kai's shoulder. Haze X2. At this moment, a series of footsteps sounded, and Siya Han was awake. The eyes of the leisurely man downstairs glanced over, and there was no superfluous expression on his face. It must be said that this is still a kind of psychological B***** and ***, the strongest quality. Seeing this figure of hers, even her eyes did not even blink. Yi Han didn't forget that the most important moment was to let Siya Han feel her kindness and loyalty, so that he could trust himself, completely rest assured of himself, so he ran to the front of Siya Han. 9 families, do you look at me today? Siya Han looked at the sparkling eyes in front of her asking for praise, the extremely lively expression of the female comedian, because she left the whole night in a melancholy mood, and she didn't understand the dissipation of some parts. Lin Kai's expression was extremely tragic. Jogu, is your conscience really painful? Shun Tu calmly sat on the side. The expression on his face was completely in my expectation. Tajiji but looked at his face full of interest. Very quickly, the maid brought breakfast, and the 5 of them all sat down and started eating. Yi Yan took a little look at Siya Han next to her, and then looked at Lin Kai, Shun Tu and Tajiji opposite, and for dazzling aura people sitting together on a dining table, so that she had a special kind of mysterious feeling. After all, these 4 people will be an important figure in each field that leads to the wind and cloud. Pi, it means to make that storm. Because the Yi family is in the entertainment industry, so Yi Fangon pays the most attention. It is still the image of Tajiji. Roughly speaking, it is discovered that Yi Yan's eyes often peak. Tajinji leaned over and supported his head with his hand, towards her and blinked those pairs of peach blossom eyes. Xiaoyi is a form, do you want to be signed? Fuck. That look, it's so direct. This person must be a male fox. And it's hard to blame him for stealing all the hearts of the young woman of the perfume girl. Sign. She naturally wanted to. Tajiji is a photo of the future Oscar. Perfume has an Oscar actor for the first time. Signed by this person, she can also give out an account later. Even now, Tajiji has already won countless big awards. Now in the entertainment circle is the character with the hottest personality, the actor who makes all the young women of perfume the most crazy. Don't say that he wrote his own signature. It was considered that he arbitrarily let a propaganda photo appear in the phone booth. It could also become an attractive sightseeing place. Every day countless girls who were in love with the marshal stood in line to go into the phone booth to take pictures. However, looking at AB****** who wanted to take it as his own, Yi Yan Fan resolutely shook his head. How dare you hide another man's signature? Unless she didn't want to live anymore. Seeing that Yi Yan was obviously very wanting, looked at Xia Han for a while, and then immediately shook his head with a small expression. Tajiji laughed softly. Xiao Yizi is so cute. Yi Yanen. Taring Emperor, you've had enough. Teasing me again, I immediately wanted to turn around. Don't you see that your other B****** and *** brother has a mushroom cloud at first? Lin Kai on the side glanced at Tajiji, pouting and criticizing. Ta-san, where is your secret? Even Yi Yan Fan dared to tease him. Tajiji gently rubbed the rose petals carrying the dew seeds inside the vase with his fingers, and said deeply, all the girls in this world are flowers, they must be loved and respected. These words simply came to Yi Yan's mind. Yin Yan immediately looked at Lin Kai and said, do you hear it? Learn to be single. Lin Chi ruffled his feathers for a while. Damn! Say who is a single crane. You're a single crane. Yi Yan tilted his head and looked at Xia Han on the side. Baby Lin Air scolded me for being a single crane. What do you mean by saying a little bit about him? Isn't this obviously planning us to break up? Xia Han heard this love voice of Yi Yanen, extremely impatient in his brain, as if there was a ray of sweetness flowing through the stream, and then the most cold clear gaze towards Lin Qian on one side shot at him. Lin Qian was so frightened that he shrunk into a group in a blink of an eye. Jogo, I'm wrong. In this little person. Tajiji turned to Xia Han and twisted his head slightly. His deep eyes looked at the opposite face who was intoxicated with the girl's green head. Ah, Jiao, I haven't seen you for a few days. This little head of yours is like turning into a different person? Xia Han looked at the girl. Transform into someone else? The only change she made was to be a little smarter, to change another way to escape him. Seeing Xia Han's gloomy gaze in the blink of an eye, Tajiji frowned, a look of fear on his face. Book, if you know her purpose well, why do you have to tolerate her? This is also not the same as your personality. I'm full. I'm going to school. At this time, Yi Han finished breakfast, picked up his briefcase and one side of his belongings, and said hello to Xia Han. Just as he was about to leave, when he was halfway through walking again, Bai ran to the front of Xia Han, put on his briefcase, raised his soft arms to hug Xia Han's neck, and at the corner of the man's lips kissed a little. Remember to think of me. Ed. This lady is acting a bit ridiculous, but Ed likes it. After speaking, leave the other four people with their eyes wide open, dancing and leaving. Equals. After a long time, Xia Han lazily leaned back in the chair behind him. His pupils indifferently glanced at his good friend on the side. Do you know now? This is the reason. The reason why he has no way to resist. This is the best school in the imperial capital. The attendance rate is extremely high and cause no other school has done that. Before the age of 16, Deepan and only studied abroad. After the age of 16, he just returned home. Did not participate in the graduation exam and high school admission. Theoretically, he could not enter Tanhua school. Being able to be admitted, at that time her father was still the chairman of Deep Tea Group, using his relationship to help her go through the back door to school. From the age of 16 to the age of 20, she has been in high school for 4 years, and has not yet graduated. From the beginning, the decline in success was due to early love. Her young woman's thoughts were all placed on her fiancé Coviet Trake Antoine, tall, all day long changing games to please him, love letters written in hundreds of letters, folding to the point of a paper crane. After that, the achievements were pathetic, all because of that scumbag. Early in the morning, the sunlight shone on her blue hair. Deepan stood in front of the main gate of Tanhoa High School, looking at the school's sign with 4 big letters, Tanhoa High School. In his heart he silently made up his mind. This time, don't think that you can stop the young lady from studying well. Walking on the schoolyard is both unfamiliar and familiar. On both sides of the road are rows of old trees, in the air full of the pure smell of grass. In the distance is a row of red tiles of an ancient building for teaching. In the radio there is melodious music. Each student wearing a briefcase was gathering in a group of 3 to enter the classroom. Living for so many days until today, Yi Yan-fan felt that he was alive for the first time. Looking up at the deep blue sky, she felt like shedding tears. Next to her, there were eyes that were whispering unusually, but she didn't notice it at all. Compared to what she had suffered in her previous life, in school these gossip didn't affect her. CMN. Who is it? It's so scary that I almost hit a tree. A man escaped from danger and bumped into a large tree. His expression was as frightened as if he had met a demon. Next to her, there was a female student in a loud voice and said, "Even her, you don't recognize her. It's Yi Yan-fan of Class F. Ah. Damn. Is she Yi Wanan? It's true that 100 hearings are not with the eyes." The male student's expression looked at him and lamented. Another female student with a disgusted face said, "All day long wearing excessive makeup, applying lipstick and chalk all over the face, weird costumes are considered over. The achievements are still pathetic and want to die. For years of not even graduating, I heard that my personal life is equally bad. I don't know what to do outside of school all day. Such a person, why didn't he even be chased away? What a disgrace to Tanicha High School." There was one student who immediately interjected, "Give it less." Listening to Shun Mengqi's words, Yi Mengqi's father embezzled public funds, was soon kicked out of the company, and still owed high interest rates. I don't know what else she has to pretend to be here. She doesn't bother to look at the school rules every day, she does it at will. Regardless, her leisure days are not many days away. I heard that the school is about to expel her. Anyway, in a short time the leaders above will come to check. As if they want the leader to know that our school has such students. If that is the case, Tanhoa's 100-year honor will be destroyed. Everyone's expressions were happy. In the end, this kind of person no longer stays in the school. Yi Yan was on the one hand interested in listening to the gossip about her, regaining a little bit of news that she was about to forget, and on the other hand she casually walked to the F class. Immediately afterwards, they frantically clapped the table and whistled. Everyone is just afraid that the world will not be disturbed. This class is considered the worst class in Tanhoa High School. Never paying attention to the school rules, many people do not follow the rules of the warden. Yi Yan is just the one who attracts the most attention from others. To put it bluntly, she is the type of student who is bored every day and always looking for fun to make fun of others. And every time Yuan made a move, he never had to let them down. Ha ha ha, Xiamen. Yuan, this hair of yours is really a buffalo. That's right, compared to the previous head-opening hairstyle. This hairstyle of yours is much more explosive. All the boys were laughing out loud, and the girls were showing disgust and contempt. What's the fuss? It's all quiet for me. Didn't you hear the bell ringing? In front of the door came the angry sound of the head teacher. Yi Yan, is you again? Younger sibling. You look at it for a while. What kind of devilish appearance do you have? Don't even go back to your seat. The class leader saw Yuan's green hair, and was so angry that his lungs exploded, and at first he wanted to continue scolding her, but as a result, he let her directly return to her seat. After all, this student was about to be expelled. There was no need to waste his energy scolding him. Yi Yan glanced at the inside of the classroom, and without recalling, he immediately knew where his seat was. Because every seat in the class was ranked according to the ranking of academic achievements, and her ranking had always been the one who came first from the bottom up, naturally sitting at the last table. The last table was next to the window, near a male student. A male student with ragged clothes, unruly hair, headphones in his ears, was sleeping on his desk. The sunlight penetrated through the gaps in the leaves, shone through the windows, and then danced on the delicate cheekbones of the sleeping teenager, making the boy look like he had just stepped out of the cover of a magazine. Tu-ha is the #1 hot boy of Tanhoa High School. Smoking, fighting, crabbing is nothing that is not unskilled, and the achievements are also crushed to the point of confusion, but because of a flashy appearance there is a lot of money in the house, so he sits firmly in this hot boy position. Hearing the sound of footsteps next to him, the teenager who was sleeping with his eyes closed for a moment showed an impatient expression. Quail. In the classroom, the other students, especially the girls, all showed gloating expressions when they saw this. They were sitting and admiring the endless beauty of His Highness when they fell asleep, but as a result, they were cut off by this ugly person. Ugly girl. Based on what can you dodo sit at the same table with His Highness? However, even if he was angry and scolding, he was handsome, very handsome. Before being resurrected, although Deepanan was dressed in a stupid way, in fact he was a coward, extremely inferior and weak inside, and his personality was also very low. If it was the other day, being roared by Xixiao like that, Yi Yanfan confirmed that he would have obediently cleaned up his nest soon to the table that had broken a leg that was shrunk next to the trash can on the other side. But this time, in the face of the male student's anger, Yi Fan stood there and looked down from above, as if smiling without smiling and glancing at the other male student, as if he had never heard anything, and directly put his butt on the chair next to him. The boy's face suddenly changed. Want to die? Give it to me. Yi Yanfan neither quickly nor slowly put the books into the desk drawer, then took out the textbook and the box of study supplies, absent-mindedly looked at the male student next to him, and slowly opened his mouth and said, I relied on my bravery to get the first place in the countdown, relying on my bravery to win this position. What are you relying on to get me out? Tu xia. All the classmates. Even the class leader has a black face like a pot's butt. In the blink of an eye, there was a murmur of astonishment in the classroom. I'm going. Is Yi Yanfan crazy? Dare to oppose His Highness again. It's definitely because I want to take the opportunity to get close to His Highness. After all, the opportunity is so good. Damn. She also didn't look her face into the urine, but looked at what kind of virtue she was, this kind of garbage, and she also dared to deliberately attack our Highness. The young female homeroom teacher was so angry that her face was black. Yi Yanan. I had to be expelled from school immediately. What is Yang Yang still in this place? Standing first from the bottom up is very nose-faced? How can I teach the kind of shameless student L? IQ. Hearing the teacher's words, all the female students were instantly excited. Haha, I've forgotten a little bit. Yi Yan is about to be expelled from the school. So this news is real. Too good. This time look at how devious she is. The class homeroom teacher, who was going to be patient until the announcement of her expulsion was officially announced, at this moment she really couldn't stand it anymore in front of her classmates and began to scold. You yourself go and look in the mirror, look a little at what a devilish figure you are, all day long being a human who doesn't come out of a demon doesn't come out of a demon. His achievements are also confused, and many times the first rank from the bottom up. Is in our class, our reputation F class is to be spoiled by this kind of garbage like you. This rat shit is like you dragging the hind legs of the entire class, and you don't even have half the shame. You now immediately get out of my school. Seeing that Yi Yan really wanted to be sent away, the female students in their hearts were full of joy. That ugly thing even wants to usurp His Highness. This time let's go see the retribution. Get out. Get out. Hurry up. In the face of the noisy classmates who shouted their voices to chase them away, Yi Yan's expression did not change at all, and he coldly turned towards the podium. Get out of the school? I don't know who gave Miss Liang the right to make me quail. Seeing that Yi Yan still dared to doubt his words, Liang Lihua's face momentarily became even more unsightly, and he said coldly, through the unanimity of the school leaders I was kicked out. Hearing this, Yi Yan momentarily showed a mocking look on his face. What was the unanimous decision of the school leaders, although she had violated the school rules, but it was all makeup, not wearing a school uniform, this and that crab cup, it was all a little incident, but according to the school regulations at least 3 serious offenses must be committed to be expelled. She was kicked out, entirely because Luang Lahoa was in front of the school leaders, adding more sauce and salt and lip dancing. According to the theory, being a teacher, there is no need to make it difficult with the same student, but the person who let her have too good luck before accidentally broke the secret of Luang Lahoa and a school leader who was married to an adulterous marriage. Liang Lihua naturally wanted to take the nail in her eye and throw it away from the school. In her previous life it was like this. In the day she used to make things difficult for her, it was just as normal as a meal. A little bit of exposure was in front of her classmates to humiliate her, and every time she was humiliated it would be a performance to help make these students happy. What are you doing? Don't even hurry up and go out. Liang Lihua solemnly pointed to the outside of the classroom, as if she couldn't wait any longer. Yi Yan lowered his voice very low, laughing coldly. Even a part of the official announcement text is not there. With just one sentence from Teacher Liang, I will be kicked out? Is school a place for you to decide? Liang Lihua's face suddenly changed dramatically, and he patted the podium with his strength and said, Yi Wanan, I'm brilliant. Is there someone who talks to the teacher like that? How did your parents teach you to teach something like you? Liang Lihua said as he looked at her with disdain. It's hard to blame anything, whatever kind of parents are. They can only teach their daughters that way. My father embezzled public funds, borrowed high interest rates and owed debts to the butt. My brother is a gambling ghost thug. What kind of thing can this kind of family teach? Liang Lihua's face was full of disgust and ridicule, and he directly brought Yuan's home story in front of all the students. At the bottom there was a whispering of astonishment, and all eyes seemed to see something obnoxious. Yi Yan Fan stood calmly on the spot, without any expression on his face. Only Si Xiao was the closest to her attention. In the blink of an eye, Liang Lihua said those words about Yi Yan's parents. These eyes of the girl who had always been weak were like bursting out of ice, overflowing with an extremely terrifying intent. The male student frowned slightly, and a glint of skepticism flashed in his eyes. Was it an illusion?